Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. How goes it? Hope everybody's doing okay for the holidays. I think I'm gonna try to put together some videos. I just tried to do one. I was like, sensitive subject. I have to be really careful how I talk about it. So, let's take a break and do a reading. Libra, you're it. Tag, you're it, Libra. All right. What does the universe want Libra to know in terms of frequency, energy, vibration, and communicating with the universe better? All right. Hydra of Earth, Linden. Ooh, building fences. You got some boundary problems? Really tough line. Beautiful, but it's a tough line. Interesting. Okay. Physical boundaries, Libra? Physical boundaries, that's what I'm getting here. Like you need to physically either distance yourself or physically create. You just shut somebody out. The Chariot, Cedar. Gorgeous. Okay, so you're moving. Queen of Cups in reverse. Oats. And the Six of Earth, Pine. Okay. Okay. So you're not... I'm getting emotional suppression from this. Like you're on your journey suppressing all your emotions. They're either you're not looking at them or people around you are not willing to look at them. Luckily for you, there's the Art of Ancient Giveaways here. So whatever's ticking you off or blocking your emotional waters here can be written down on a piece of paper, tied to some kindling, and stuck in a fire. So here we go. Okay. And then you've got the Two of Earth, the Two of Pentacles, Witch Hazel in reverse. Yeah, this isn't going to upright itself until you do that. So this is typically that infinity symbol with the two little pentacles on it moving around. Whatever you value, whatever that looks like, it doesn't have to be pennies or coins or money. Whatever you value in your life is going to be what's put up on that cycle for movement around and coming back into your realm. So if you're not putting on the spindle what you really value, if you're not putting your emotion towards that, if your emotional body is absent, bad things are going to happen on a physical level. I think that's why all these pentacles are showing up here, or earth symbols. It's going to make manifest if you don't start dealing with your emotions. So when we develop a habit or create a way of life for ourselves that isn't allowing the emotional waters to move, the stagnancy of the emotional waters within us, our yin, will begin to clog, and it will begin to manifest in the body, usually in kind of mucusy ways. So tear ducts, nasal cavity, throat, the lower half, even like sometimes your skin can be dry. These are all physical symptoms. Yes, it's that time of season, but you might be abnormally dry right now. That's right, I'm going there. Okay. So it's oats. Oats is good for the heart. Oats are really good for your heart and your blood circulation. So that needs to be taken into account. So if you unblock that by whatever it needs to be written down, which is blocking it, write it down. Don't reread it. If you reread it, it's going to stick with you as you burn it up. Write it all down. Get emotional and just don't worry about how it looks. Nothing. Don't worry about skipping over stuff. Just keep writing, okay? And then attach it to a piece of kindling and then toss it in. You need to watch it go up in flames because that is going to change your brain. And then the smoke rising up into the air is going to help you. Now, I know that people call this type of stuff woo-woo. It's not woo-woo because it's registering in here if you watch it go up in flames. You have just taken your emotional waters, which are in reverse right now, and activated them. You have moved them forward forcibly with fire. You have destroyed them. Any blockages. Okay, so when you are going through a difficult time in your emotional body, it feels like you're living in a parallel universe sometimes because you're like, oh, this very nice thing is showing up for me. This is great. But oh, this thing over here is really making me insanely irate. So then you've got this war going on that nobody sees, nobody understands because it's all within, right? That can be very isolating, Libra. Very isolating. So if you want to get back on that wheel, right? And this isn't astringent. This like squeezes things out. It's a pore tight. People used it to tighten their pores, witch hazel. Very good medicine on all different levels. I don't know what I can and can't say here on YouTube, so it's an astringent for your face. So when you are moving forward, I'm going to get a different deck to clarify quick this Chariot, because you're moving, but you're not taking your emotional heart with you, which is why it's not registering so hot on the, oh, okay. So yeah, the Ace of Pentacles, the offers are not going to come rolling in. And the Ten of Air in reverse. So you're coming to the end of the cycle. You're coming to the end of the cycle. The worst is over. But until you cycle through that energy all the way and release it into the ethos, I'm getting you need to protect yourself and your heart space in order to move forward, and you need to let whatever is holding you back go. Otherwise, everything is just kind of be stagnant. It's going to come to a halt, and that wheel is going to keep turning without you, but you're not going to have any values on it. You're not going to be putting anything into it. And maybe you need to take a pause to reassess your values. Understand what it means for you to be fulfilled as a human being alive on the planet right now. And that doesn't always mean having a load of pentacles in the bag. It's nice. Yep. Oh yeah, it's nice. But you need to understand that like there's more to life than that. So when we're going through our own personal lives and assessing what means the most, oftentimes our heart is what signifies that for us. Where do we feel like we can be ourselves? Where do we feel the most safe to show up in our authentic body and be honored for doing so? That's a rare thing. And maybe you're not finding it where you're at, because you're putting this up. You're not finding it. And you're moving forward, but you're like, I'm not finding the space. So you're not alone in that, Libra, by any means. You're not alone in that. It's kind of a systemic issue of the globe right now, is not being able to feel safe in our places that we used to feel safe in. Our coping mechanisms are failing. Our systematic structures that we thought were our safe havens, everything, religious, medical, financial, food supplies, everything's being stripped away because we're not doing the right things with it. We're not using our brains where we're putting this forth out into the universe, unfortunately. And that's another thing to value, real, honest, and integral intelligence. Science has done some amazing things, but at the end of the day, it still worships the almighty dollar. So because this is absent, the whole thing goes to shit. So you're not alone in understanding this and being in this energy. There's a lot of us that are just looking at the whole entire freaking thing and going, that system failed, that system failed, that system failed, that system failed, and being completely disheartened with it. And that's okay. You're entitled to feel that way. So writing the grievances down on all the different levels, right? And understanding that it's okay. It's okay. We're all going through it. You're not alone in this. And closing out that cycle for good and starting to build something new for yourself, whatever that looks like. Because albeit, it's a big vast sea of frustration out there, you still can do your beautiful work and be a force for good, a force for love, and a force for progressing and moving forward in a positive and new way. I think we need that energy on the planet, and it looks like you're moving forward. You're moving towards it. This is upright. You're getting her done. Cedar chest. Cedar chest. You know what cedar chests used to do? Why they used to build chests out of cedar? Kept the insects away. So whatever you're moving towards is going to be pest free. Okay? Alright. What would you like Libra to know? What do we want Libra to know? Grief. Accepting loss. So whatever you need to put on these little cards and build your boundaries for, right? It's okay. Number 17 is the card number. Okay. Grief. Accepting loss. Constellation Booties, otherwise known as herdsmen. Alpha Bertus is the Latin name. Let's see if I can get this here without any glare on it. Ta-da! Freaking cool. Okay. Wisdom of the Herald. They say it is better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all. But the pain is real and trying. When faced with loss, don't deny the gravity of the situation. Take time to truly process and accept the hand dealt. There will be tears, depression, sorrow, but acceptance will come once the cycle has run its course. Work towards accepting the loss. Wisdom of the Dragon says, own your grief and wear it like armor. Let it shield your heart like a chest plate. There is no shame but power in the trial. only the power of grieving, and all is released. Let go. Let it flow through you. Wear it with pride. Strength will come in time. The Star Dragon invocation is so many times in life we are tempted to keep calm and carry on, quote unquote. But now is not the time nor the place for such robotic and inhumane approach. Feel your sadness. Take that time to mourn and loss. Own your grief when you need to. The time has come. It's okay. On the other side of death, of any sort, there's new life. There's always new life on the other side of loss. On every single level. So we need to understand that even though we might not have everything we always had or always wanted, that if we can release with grace, we can go into a space of accepting the loss and then accepting what new growth is supposed to take its place. And honoring that process for yourself, no matter how it looks, honoring it for yourself, holding space for yourself, realizing that whatever you need to feel is what you need to feel, and that there's nothing wrong with feeling. Absolutely nothing wrong with feeling. There's so many different layers and levels to grief, and they don't go in order. They never go in order. I'm just holding space. I'm not trying to think of anything to say. I'm just instructing you, cross watchers, how to hold space for Libra. We don't need to always say something super smart. We can just be there. A touch of the hand, a hug, a kind gesture, a glass of water, a cup of tea, run them a bath, get them a warm blanket. Hey, honoring the process. Hope this helps. Have a beautiful week.